What's up, everybody? Dog 1985 is levels to this. Yo, listen. I I know. There's too many videos in one day. I know, but I had to make this video because I just saw this rebuttal video from my man Coffee. Though I'm gonna put myself on this side, and I guess he keeps his camera on that side. Um, I'm legit confused. I'm legit, like, I am thoroughly confused. I don't understand where he doesn't understand where I'm coming from. So I'm just gonna put this out there. I'm gonna try to see. I just let's just watch how he reacts to this video. This is not my latest video. This is the one where I spoke about is a series of problem I was being too harsh, which I spoke about his video, right? Spoke about when I was on his chat. But let's just get to it. So watch.
Welcome back to the channel. And Doc's video, I watched it. He was talking about, because hey, Gaming News Weekly Sundays 1 p.m. Central Time. I'm in the US. That's kind of how I do that. But Gaming News Weekly yesterday, Sunday, we had a good old time there. We were talking. Doc came through the chat, and we started talking about the Series S, the parity clause, all of that. And he was talking about how he felt about it. He made a video about it. He told me he was in the chat. So he told me he was going to make a video about it. I didn't get to see it until today. I just got off work. I'm all settled in now. Now it's back to the YouTubes. And I watched the video, and I'm starting to understand where they're coming from with this, oh, the parity clause is holding back the Series X type thing. But when I think of Xbox, I don't think of the Series X, the console that I bought, the more powerful one, as a different console from the S. When people...
What? What? If you don't think the Series S is a different console from the X, then what made you decide to purchase the X? The color? What? No, you know it's a different console. You know it's a more powerful console. Therefore, it's a different console. What?
People make games for Xbox. They make Xbox games. The X and the S play those Xbox games. When Blizzard dropped Diablo 4 on Xbox and PlayStation, the X and the S got the same game.
Right. So you should understand why Baldur's Gate is a problem. Because this is a game that can't run on the S, not the X. So you're absolutely right. It's supposed to be able to run. Games are supposed to be able to run on the S and the X. But if we're seeing a problem, or developers telling us that they can't get this feature to run on this S, it's not the same console as the X, clearly, right? But we'll keep going.
But when it comes to Larian Studios and Baldur's Gate 3, since Larian is making his big extravagant game, it is the highest rated game of all time at the moment. It's on PC. Everybody's loving it. It's coming to PlayStation. Xbox fans feel left out. And Larian told us straight up front, the Series S is harder to develop for. They have to work harder to get the Series S version of the game to run exactly like the Series X version of the game or the PS5.
So how again, he's understanding, but he doesn't understand what he's saying. Larian Studios said the Series S version of the game, they're having a hard time developing for the Series S version of the game. Okay, cool, Larian Studios. I have a Series X. Where's my version? Oh, your version's not out yet because we haven't developed it for the Series S yet. Yeah, but I didn't buy a Series S. I bought the X. I bought the more powerful console. So how about you give me my version and then you keep working on their version? How does that not make sense? Delay it on the console that it needs to be delayed for.
Our version of the game, so they have to delay it. Series X owners on the Xbox side of things took that as like, oh, so if the Series S didn't exist, we would have that game too. I mean,
You better stop it. You better stop it. He went. So okay. So you want to go with that narrative now? So hold on. You want to go with that narrative that this game can't run on the X as well? Is that really the narrative we want to go that by? No. If the S didn't exist, we would have this game as well. Or you don't believe that? Because if you don't believe that, then what you're saying is that they're having a hard time developing for the X as well. Is that the narrative that they're having a hard time developing for the X?
Nobody can say for sure, but Larian.
But nobody could say for sure, but Larian. But Larian literally just said it was the S. So he said he just got off work, so maybe that's why. Maybe he's tired.
The problem is, they have to work harder on the Series X version of the game, so they're delaying it. And everybody's like, well, just drop the X version of the game. There has never been an X version of an Xbox game.
Right. So there's always something called the first. That's how life works. There's always there was never a car until a car was invented. There was never a plane until a plane was invented. There's always a first. So this could be the first time, like, yo, they're having a hard time developing on the S. Well, guess what? Drop it on the X and then figure out how to develop it for the S. What? That's not a good excuse because it's never been done before. What?
I don't know where they got that idea from. There's no such thing. In my eyes,
we got the idea from critical thinking. Critical thinking. Why? What? If you're having problems developing for the S and not the X, why would you delay it on the X?
Anyway, there's Xbox games, and those games run on Xbox hardware, just like PC games run on PC hardware. And I'm like, when I hear this,
you're a PC gamer. You know not all games run on all PCs. What are you talking about? You know this. What?
Because I was saying
could you imagine if they delayed a PC game because they haven't figured out how to make that game run on a 1050 Ti?
Said it in here because I told him, like, that sounds entitled, bro. That sounds entitled. Like, oh, since I bought the more powerful console, I deserve to get things first, or get things before the lower end console people get it. And I'm like, that sounds entitled, Doc, bro.
Listen to this. This really blew my mind. Yes, you spent more money, you get more out of it. This is. I don't know where you. I think you're from America too, right? Or are you from Canada? I don't know, brother. I don't know where you're from. But when you spend more money, you get out of it. If I paid more money for a car than you did, I expect my car to have features that your car doesn't have. If we live in the same place and I pay more money for a home and we bought it the same year and everything, I expect my home to have an extra bathroom or two than your home. That's not entitled. That's me getting what I paid for. So and you know what? And even if you want to consider it entitled, I am entitled to be entitled because I paid that title price. What are you talking about, bro? Listen to what he just said. He said, I can't believe it.
This sounds. I deserve to get things first, or get things before the lower end console people get it. And I'm like, that sounds entitled, Doc, bro. That sounds like since you spent more money, you deserve more.
What world are we in that sounds wrong to him? You spent more money, you should get more. Where? Somebody please explain to me. I'm really hoping I'm missing something. Someone please explain to me how that does not make sense. What he just said right there. You spent more money, you deserve more. What?
Because there's literal people on the internet. I've seen some videos get sent to me on Discord. I didn't react to those. But there's people saying, like, oh, they should just make the S owners play the game in the cloud.
If they want to play at the same time.
Developers to make cloud versions of games instead of the S version of games.
What are you talking about? xCloud runs on Xbox Series X's. That's what they don't. You know this stuff. I know you know this. What are you talking about? Make the game for the Xbox Series X and then let the S people stream it until they're able to make it natively for the console. What are you talking about? You know they it runs on X Series X Blades or whatever it's called. You already know this.
And just make the S people play it in the cloud when they could literally have developers make the Xbox version of the game run on both of those. I'm confused. I'm real deal confused on why they're separating the X and the S now. Like, that is so wild. When Xbox announced the two consoles and one of them was worse than the other one, we all chose to buy the better one.
Bro, I don't know if he's listening to himself, what he's saying. Xbox announced both consoles, showed that one's worse than the other one. We chose to buy the better one. Correct. I'm following you. We chose to buy the better one. But we're being punished by those that bought the worst one. How do you not see that?
Because games are going to run better on our Xbox games that come to Xbox are going to run better on this one.
Uh-huh.
Now they won't.
But according to your narrative, they're the same console. They should have run better then. Why do you feel entitled to having your games run better on the console that you bought? Why do you feel entitled to that? Because you pay more money, right? Okay, but if the game can't even run on it yet, yes, I should get it first. What?
Games faster because they bought the better one. It is crazy. It sounds wild to me when I hear that. I'm like, now you want games faster because PlayStation looks better. That is where all this stems from. Since Larian Studios,
it's not seeing, and that's where the narrative gets wild, because PlayStation looks better. No, if this game was utter trash, then maybe you have an argument. But this game, as of right now, has the potential to win Game of the Year, and we might not even play it this year. You don't have a problem with that, even though you purchased the console that can run this game. This is not something where like Sony went ahead and bought time exclusivity or any of that stuff. No. No one's bought any time exclusivity or anything. It's just that the Series S exists.
Has to work harder on the Xbox version of the game, which every developer has to work harder on the Xbox version of the game.
And you don't see a problem with that? That they have to work harder on every single Xbox version of the game because the S exists? Like, you don't see a problem with that? At first, I didn't see a problem with that because I thought it was, they could figure it out, right? But now it's looking a little iffy.
I think because PlayStation gets the game first,
no,
since it was easier to develop for, and they feel left out, they rather crucify half the console Xbox is built just so they can feel included with the PlayStation community, because they get a game that Xbox doesn't. And I'm like, PlayStation got plenty of games that Xbox didn't.
Yo, you sound like a very generous gamer. Because I'm going to tell you this. When it comes to gaming, I care about me and my gaming needs. You sound like a very generous gamer. You should donate me a very high-end PC with a 4090 and everything, because you sound very generous.
Did people just forget Persona was on PlayStation for how long before it came to Xbox? And there was no reason why it couldn't be on Xbox. They just chose not to put it on there.
Yes.
Why is Red Dead Redemption 1 still not hit PC? There's no reason it shouldn't be on there. They just chose not to fucking put it on there. So if Larian is making the Xbox version of the game after they finish the PlayStation...
No, but it's not because they chose to, dog. It's not Larian. It's not because Larian chose to. Do you really think Larian would? What? It's not because they chose to. It's because they're having a harder time developing for it, which you already admitted. This is not because they chose to. Yeah, the Persona 6, they chose not to drop it on Xbox. That was their choice. Final Fantasy as well. They chose to not have it on Xbox, right? And now they're complaining about not meeting what they wanted or whatever, right? But regardless, this was not a full-blown choice. This was something that they had to do because they didn't have parity between the two systems, because the two systems are not the same, contrary to your beliefs.
Version of the game after they finished the PC version of the game. How that the S being a problem wouldn't change the timeline anyway, because if PC is their primary place, this is where I want to put my game, and they put it there. PlayStation came next. They developed the PlayStation version of the game. They didn't do all this shit simultaneously. They don't have a studio that big, so they have to choose the version to work on. Then they go work on the next one. If Xbox's version of the game is going to take longer and they waited last to make it, Of course, it's gonna take longer.
Oh, okay. So so your narrative is that even if the S didn't exist, this game would still be delayed for the Xbox. That's the narrative you want to stick by what you just said, right? That's the narrative you want to stick by, right? That they develop for PC first, then they develop for PlayStation, and they were gonna go ahead and delay it for the Xbox as well, right? Because this is a small studio, and there's never been a small studio that has been able to develop for both consoles at the same time, right? Come on, dog.
But since the S version is taking longer than the X one is, they like cut the S out. Just give us the game. And it's like the S owners want to play the game too. There's
Are you listening to what you're saying? He's not even listening to what he's saying, because in the other video he said, Doc, if you want to play the game, why don't you just play it on your PS5? Well, here you go, Xbox Series S owner. If you want to play the game, why don't you just get the Xbox Series X? You see how your logic doesn't make sense, dog?
That's where I see the entitlement at, because you're just saying like, oh, S owners don't deserve the game because us X owners could have the game already if y'all didn't exist. That is crazy talk, bro.
They don't deserve the game right now. That's all it is. Drop it on the X.
That is wild. That is some of the crazy shit. And it's not like it's false. If the S didn't exist, of course the X would probably have games faster.
What? So I didn't even need to rebuttal you. You just rebutted yourself. What? He didn't watch the video over. He just dropped it.
But it's still it's on the developers to make the game for the Xbox to begin with. And if they choose to make it for Xbox, and they're gonna make the Xbox version of the game run on the X and the S, both hardware simultaneously, let them do their job, bro. Y'all trying to make their job easier by literally telling them to alienate a whole community of people. That's crazy. That's just like asking for console exclusivity of a game, but in between brands. This is like Death Stranding coming to Xbox Game Pass PC and not to the console version. That is exactly what they're asking for. Look, Death Stranding.
So you just literally gave an example of Xbox doing it. And you see, here's the difference. I know that Death Stranding is on Xbox Game Pass PC. If I want to play Death Stranding on Xbox Game Pass, I gotta play the PC version. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. The same way that if I want to play Redfall at 60 frames, right now I gotta get a very powerful PC. That's just the way it is. I understand that, right? That's just the way it is. So if Xbox, you just gave an example of Xbox already doing this within their own ecosystem. So you have a problem if the Series X owners get this game. I'm not saying that the Series S owners never get it, but you bought the cheaper console. You got to wait a little bit longer because they're taking a little bit longer time to develop for that console. You don't think that makes sense?
When it came to Xbox on PC, not the console version, and that was strange as hell. It did come to Xbox though, but only the PC version of Xbox, the PC extension of Xbox. It could have came to console.
So they already did it.
Definitely could have came to console, but they chose not to.
Okay, so they already did it.
This is the weird dilemma that the Xbox community is in now, for some reason, and it's so strange. And it's all because Larian Studios made a great game that everybody wants to play, which is good. Everybody wants to play the game.
So you understand everybody wants to play the game. So why did you bring PlayStation into this?
But now people are getting entitled to the game because they paid more.
Someone definitely has to help me understand this. Is it wrong to feel entitled when you pay more? He's literally saying they feel entitled to the game because they paid more. I am very confident that the Series X can run this game the same way the PS5 can run this game. So why would they delay it on the Series X if it's not a time exclusive or anything like that? And Larian Studios themselves is saying we're having a hard time developing for the S and we need to have parity between both consoles. So
What? What? Because you paid more, you think you're more entitled to the game. That's crazy.
Am I tripping? Are y'all hearing what he's saying? Yes, I paid more. I'm more entitled. That's the way life works. What? What?
That is crazy. But I'm in it right here. So thank y'all for watching. Like,
Yeah, I got a phone call, so I gotta end it right here too. You guys save. I'm putting this up. Y'all gotta help me out with this.
Paid more. You